Our film tonight at 10 o'clock is Total Recall. That follows the boxing. But now on Tyne Tees, the news from ITN.
Good evening, welcome to the news and sport from ITN. Tonight's headlines: Gerry Adams apologises as he appeals to unionists to talk with Sinn Féin. And the search for the schoolboy who used his father's passport to fly to Malaysia.
And in sport, Duncan Ferguson topples Champions United as Blackburn edge further ahead.
The Sinn Féin president, Gerry Adams, today called on unionists to bring their hopes, dreams and fears to the conference table and work with his party for a peaceful future for Northern Ireland. Mr Adams, speaking to Sinn Féin's annual conference in Dublin, also apologised for the hurt the IRA has caused.
Gerry Adams and his colleagues have travelled a long way since their party conference last year, but despite a warm welcome, his speech today was curiously low-key. There was no triumphalism, and with reference to the framework document, he appealed to the unionists to come to the table and talk.
I appeal to unionists to bring your hopes and your dreams and your concerns and your fears to the conference table, and let all of us, as equals, seek to find ways to persuade each other of our good intentions. Let all of us together agree the democratic basis on which we can all live on this island in peace.
He acknowledged the IRA ceasefire had been, for many Republicans, unsettling, difficult and traumatic. The campaign of violence was, he said, one of the certainties of our time and our struggle. But
I have publicly acknowledged the hurt which Republicans have inflicted on others. I do so again today. But for a healing process to work, everyone must do this. Republicans and unionists and loyalists, and especially the British government.
unionists would certainly dispute the idea they need to be forgiven. They believe they have withstood the IRA for 25 years and are very reluctant to talk to Sinn Féin. Perhaps for that reason, Mr Adams promised his supporters a long, hard road. Tom Bradby, ITN, in Dublin.
A British soldier is still under arrest in Cyprus after the car he was driving hit a motorcycle, killing 2 students. Lance Corporal Gareth Austin was returning to his base from Larnaca when it happened. 600 troops from his regiment have been confined to their barracks on the island.
The 2 students died instantly in the crash, hit from behind in the early hours of the morning by a car police say was travelling at high speed. By the time the police arrived at the scene, the driver and a passenger had fled. Officers later arrested 25-year-old Lance Corporal Austin, a married man who comes from Cornwall, whom they found asleep in his quarters. He's said to have refused a breath test.
The commanding officer of the Green Jackets has decided that he should confine his men to barracks for the time being. This is both in recognition of 2 tragic deaths and also to avoid possible friction.
Also from the same regiment are 3 soldiers awaiting trial for the murder of a Danish tour guide on Cyprus last year. The case has exposed feelings of unease between Cypriots and British forces stationed on the island. Today's accident will do nothing to ease strained relations and may even increase demands from some quarters for British bases on the island to be closed.
More than 20 people have been shot dead in armed attacks on 2 mosques in Pakistan. Masked gunmen burst in and opened fire on Shiite Muslims as they prayed in Karachi. Fighting between rival Sunni and Shiite Muslims has killed 153 people in Karachi in the last month. The family of the runaway schoolboy Peter Kerry have appealed for their son to come home. Peter, who's 14, is missing in Malaysia after using his father's passport and credit cards to fly there. Police and British consular officials are searching for him. Charlotte Hume reports.
Peter Kerry has been missing from home for 5 days. The 14-year-old is obsessed with travel. Just 2 weeks ago, he was caught trying to board a flight to Paris. He's made many air and rail journeys at great expense to his parents. In his latest adventure, using his father's passport and credit cards, he bought a return ticket at London's Heathrow Airport. Malaysian Airlines say he took a 10 o'clock flight to Kuala Lumpur Tuesday night. And then on to Johor Bahru, it's thought on an internal flight. He called his parents from a hotel after his credit cards were queried.
The last part of the conversation was they're checking my credit cards. One is no good, and it looks like I've got to go. They're after me. And with that, I believe, he put the phone down.
So how was Peter able to use his father's passport unchallenged? At check-in, the airline only examined the expiry date of the passport. The Home Office say that from February 1994, immigration officers don't routinely check the passports of European nationals leaving the country. British police are working with Interpol to find Peter.
Malaysia, I understand, is a very friendly country, but he is a young boy, by himself, one assumes with no money. That must always be a serious danger.
The police think Peter may try to cross the 16 miles into Singapore. Border guards have been alerted to stop him leaving Malaysia.
Now, with details of today's sport, here's Steve Scott.
In the English Premiership, the two leaders falter, but there's no change at the top. Blackburn fought out a goalless draw with Norwich, and Manchester United's woeful week continued with defeat at Everton. Duncan Ferguson scored the only goal at Goodison. A double from Peter Beardsley sank in-form Aston Villa at St James's Park, while the evergreen John Barnes helped Liverpool to maximum points at Hillsborough, their first league victory there since 1988. Jurgen Klinsmann notched his 21st goal of the season, but the German star was outshone by Stefan Okoku, who scored 2 at White Hart Lane. Paul Merson grabbed 1 of 3 for Arsenal to end what's been a gloomy few days for them with a smile. A quick look at how that affects the table. Blackburn extend their lead by a point thanks to Manchester United's slip-up. Newcastle and Liverpool are closing in. In Division 1, Tranmere march on. They were 4-1 winners at Burnley, but chasing the leading pack, Wolves. Their skipper, John de Wolf, rounded off his hat-trick with a penalty in a convincing 4-2 trouncing of Port Vale. So Tranmere on top. Middlesbrough, though, have 3 games in hand. Wolves move into 5th place. In Scotland, second-placed Hibs slipped up at Falkirk. Motherwell take second place as they beat Aberdeen, but Rangers power on. Gordon Jury gets the first of 3 in front of 44,000 at Hampton Park. There's no stopping Rangers, still 15 points clear. Motherwell leapfrog Hibernian. Sprint King Linford Christie got a gentle reminder that he's not invincible at the KP National Invitation meeting in Birmingham today. 26-year-old Darren Braithwaite, all in black, blazed through a world-class field in the 60 metres sprint to pip the Olympic champion by 1/100th of a second. Rugby Union and the mighty Bath are on course for a league and cup double with a 26-6 victory over Northampton in the quarter-finals of the Pilkington Cup. Nearest rivals Leicester were pushed all the way by Sale, but John Liley scored 3 penalties and the only try of the game to settle it. Within the next hour, the Dark Destroyer Nigel Benn steps into the ring at the London Arena to defend his WBC super middleweight title. He takes on the American Gerald McClellan in what promises to be an explosive fight. Between them, they've notched up 33 first-round wins.
This week's lottery jackpot is just over £8 million. The winning numbers are 5, 8, 10, 18, 31 and 33. The bonus number is 28. It's not yet known if the jackpot has been claimed by just one person. Finally tonight, the Irish lottery has brought a little happiness back to the people of Grey Steel in Northern Ireland. In October 1993, loyalist terrorists murdered 8 people as they sat drinking in the Rising Sun bar. Today, locals gathered there to celebrate Kieran Doherty's £300,000 win.
The Rising Sun bar has rarely seen such a happy moment in the last 15 months. But tonight, the warmth for which this local pub had always been renowned resurfaced when the locals of Grey Steel came out to celebrate Kieran Doherty's win on the Irish lottery. The prize, nearly £300,000, is all the more poignant, for Kieran's daughter was badly injured when loyalist gunmen fired indiscriminately at customers, killing 8 people.
We witnessed the boys sitting in the witness box, sniggering and sneering when they were given evidence. And to me, it was really fantastic news that we had got that.
Yesterday, the loyalist gunmen were sentenced to life imprisonment. Kieran Doherty knows this lottery win will not erase the painful memories, but he's just happy that Grey Steel has something at last to to smile about. Eric McInnes, ITN, Greysteel, County Londonderry.
And that's it from Steve and me. Good night.
Good night.
Good evening. Well, do watch out for a widespread sharp frost tonight, along with icy roads, and then those sleet and snow showers continue in northern and western areas. In fact, we've more rain on the way, at least by the end of tomorrow night, represented here by this dark, angry-looking cloud brewing up out to the west and arriving by the end of tomorrow night. Now, this is today's showery cloud feeding into western places thick and fast. Back to the moment at hand now. We can pick up on all those showers, sleet and snow contained in them as well. Mainly dry elsewhere, but sharp dip to temperatures down to -2s, -3s, and so a widespread frost leading to icy stretches on the roads. Watch out if you're out and about. On to tomorrow morning, the very best, the dry, bright weather reserved for eastern parts. Showers out to the west here, and 1 or 2 of them just sneaking across to the east, as well as central areas. Now, these die off and ease away during the course of the afternoon as this cloud moves into the west, piling up all the while, and that's tomorrow night's rain. Well, with temperatures tomorrow down a degree or so on today's values, a high of 7.45 Fahrenheit, chillier further north, and all the while that wind adding to the cold effect. Good night.
Powergen. Power for homes and industry, whatever the weather.